welcome to another episode of You Have a Story podcast. And guess what, guys? This is the fifth story. Like, we're moving along, and today we have, and I know everyone is amazing. I always say amazing guest, but she is amazing. We have Dr. Olabisi Gwamna. She's a triple negative breast cancer survivor, and in case you don't know, according to the American Cancer Society, this type of breast cancer accounts for between 10 to 15% of all breast cancers. And the term triple negative breast cancer refers to the fact that cancer cells don't have estrogen, progesterone, and the HER2 receptor, protein receptor, which makes chemotherapy and radiation the only major treatment for this type of breast cancer. If you want to learn more about this, just do some research. American Cancer Society is a very renowned website for you to learn more about it. But beyond being a breast cancer survivor, Dr. Gwamna is a mother, she's a wife, she's a grandparent, and she's an author. Like, we were just talking before the recordings started, and she's written about 5 books. Yeah. And I've read just one. This is the first one. This is a memoir of a journey with the breast cancer diagnosis. And she's written a lot more, which I am definitely gonna dive into. We're gonna be talking about this book today, which I'm gonna encourage everyone to get their hands on it. Like, I've read, I'm a few pages away from the hand, and I'm gonna say it is being an inspiration. And beyond that, she was also an associate professor at one of the prestigious universities where she taught English and third world literature. Before I start talking, I'm gonna leave the floor open up to her. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself. So, Dr. Gwamna, can you please just tell us a little bit about you?
Okay, I am Olabisi Gwamna, originally from Nigeria. My dad was from Abeokuta. My mom was from Warri. She was a Shekiri woman. And I'm married to a man from Kaduna State. So I'm a proper Nigerian, okay? And my husband and I came here during the era of Reagan. He came here as a Rotary Foundation scholar, and we settled for 2 years in DeKalb, Illinois, where he got his master's in journalism from from Northern Illinois University. And together we went back. We went to Athens, Ohio, University of distinct from Ohio State, okay? We don't like mixing it up. This is the Ohio University, the 1804 campus in Athens, and we both got our doctorate. He got his in telecommunications. I did in in comparative literature, and we're here in Iowa, and our 4 boys are no longer boys; they're men now. The youngest is 26. 2 of them are married, and 2 are still unmarried. No hurry, no rush. We're grandparents of 2 kids, and I love, aside from writing, I like to make soap. I like to brew wine. I
Wow.
make colorful pillows, and I make shea butter, body cream, and use essential oil. So I like craft. Let's just put it that way. And I love to cook. And I'm here, and I'm a cancer survivor.
So we've heard a lot of things about her, but I want to say she's like jack of all trade, master of all. She's a master of all. But I should I think I should get my hands on the soap because I love shea butter. And she's also Nigerian. I'm Nigerian too, which
Yeah,
makes it so perfect.
right. That's right.
She's like in Nigeria, it's a cultural thing in Nigeria. We can't call elderly people by their name. So if
we
you
tell
see
our
me say, if
we
you
tell
see
our
me,
kids we tell our kids that so everybody's auntie or uncle.
Auntie Uncle.
Those are real uncles. Forget it. It's older than you, so it's an old uncle.
Period.
Question mark.
I
Yeah.
like mommy and daddy. Everyone is your mommy and your daddy.
Yeah, I like that. It's good.
Yeah. It's commands, I would say, like respect in a
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
and it shows like you are like well brought up in a way. But like,
Exactly.
if
Yeah.
you see me calling that ma,
Mhm.
please leave. Like, can you leave us alone and
Just
be
leave
with
it.
us for a little
Yeah, because she's young enough to be my kid, so you can just listen and shush. All right.
Exactly. So we talked a bit during my introduction. I talked briefly about this book, which is called "The Other Side of Fear." In memoir. What so amongst other books, what compelled you to write this book in the midst of you like in this midst of like breast cancer?
Honestly, that's what people ask me. Because when they buy the book, they say, "When did you write it?" I said, "Well, I finished it just a week after my last treatment." I said, "How?" And I think that's God's gift to me
Mm,
during the cancer. Um, it took my mind away, not totally, but it took my mind away, mentally away from the devastation that was happening in my body, the degeneration of body cells and all that.
mhm,
So I said, okay, yeah, go ahead. You soon go. And then I just tried. I just decided, and I think God gave me the focus to write about this thing. So each time I went for a medical appointment, or I jotted everything down.
mm,
When I didn't jot, when I came back, I went back to I went to my computer and wrote and just wrote, everything down. And so that it made me look forward to doing so. Every time I went for one chemo or the other, and I came back tired, I still drag myself to my computer because that I look forward to doing that. It was like it was the picture perfect moment of my day, and I needed one moment in an awful day to be nice. And so my nice moment was me writing, reporting the cancer to itself. Yeah. So really, that was what happened, and I honestly I thank God for that because oh my God, I think it just it overwhelms you. It takes complete control of you from. I mean, you can see what you're becoming. You you take your hair and the hair comes out and comes out. And look at your nails, they are dark like you look at your palms, they're like monkeys on black. God, what is this? But then I just find all that funny, because it's like, wow, this thing is really brutal. What is
mhm,
this? Sometimes, the lumps in the mouth, the
mm,
sores. It's awful. And I can understand why a lot of people die from it. It's not because the medication is not working. It's not because the regimen, the protocol is not working. It's because they are not working.
mm,
Psychologically, they've been defeated. You should just take a look at. I mean, sometimes I look at my one cheek will be like as if I swallowed and I say, again in my mouth too, you know. And I just laugh about it. It's so funny. It's like one unseen cell is doing this much damage. God, why do you allow? Why do you permit this
mm,
crap to? What is it? Why must this thing take over? I mean, I love to cook, but each time I cook, it just tastes there. Not it no taste. No taste. And I used to tell my husband that it tastes like coal tar. And he
mm.
said, have you tasted coal tar? I don't know, I haven't tasted it, but it tastes that and this tastes like coal tar. Or sometimes, to my Nigerian friends and family, I would say, look, food right now tasted like papaya, or you're drinking diluted bitter leaf juice. I mean, yeah.
That's
So
gross. I remember that.
yeah, it's that gross. It is that gross, and When you just think of food, you just want to throw up, you know. And the medicine they gave me for to control throwing up, that just added to it. I said, you know what? Forget it. So I'll go and start chewing on ginger.
Mm,
Yeah, and I helped a little, but no, cancer is ugly. It really is bad. It's bad. It's not good. And I pity people who don't have a support,
mm,
a network of support. You need that.
mm,
Hi, you need that. Like that. Thank God for that. My family, my husband, my boys, their wives, and then my Nigerian family, and then my church.
mm,
Yeah, the Catholic Church here. And my husband is Catholic. I'm Episcopal or Anglican. They both, all of them. But then they say, well, you have such a positive attitude, and I said, well, thank God for that. So I thank God first and foremost, really. And the medical team, my all my major doctors are women, so I think so they understand the seriousness of this of this disease. Um, my personal physician is a woman. My breast surgeon is a woman. And my oncologist is a woman.
wow, you are blessed.
Yes, and so they understood, and they were very passionate about. It was as if they were treating a family member. So they just put all their soul in. Oh, you have to. Oh, well, yeah. You look. You will be. And so that was how. Even though I was recommended to go through 20 cycles of chemotherapy, after the no 16 cycles, after the ninth one, my oncologist said, "Okay, that's it. That's it. If there is any cancer, there is dead. If it's not dead, radiation would kill it, but I'm not going to put you through this ring. This is too much." Because I had no energy, nothing. It was the only thing that was pushing me through was God's grace and my stubbornness, my can do. Yeah, it's like okay. So, but she stopped it after the ninth treatment, and because I mean, I think it just erect. All my white blood cells were just my white blood cells were just looking like this. Okay, what it's like ah. So then I rested for like 4 or 5 weeks.
And you started the radiation.
Yeah, yeah, and that's back to back 20 times. Yeah.
Like you just told your whole story in like how many minutes now? But I really love the fact that you started writing, like jotting down your journey as you started, because I feel like you were kind of like journaling, but you
Mhm.
didn't know in such a way, which
Yeah.
eventually led to a book. Because like we during the last session with someone I was who was also telling a story, she also mentioned the power in journaling. Because sometimes we can't really speak what our mind is saying, but our pen can write it down.
Yeah.
Just transpire those thoughts into words, which are always better. And who knows, like our words eventually become books that generations and generations to come we
Yeah.
found like as an inspiration, which is what you like. This is what you did.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Really. I really didn't even see it as journaling. It's just
mm,
like I guess because right from the get go, I decided Cancer and I were going to be sparring partners. We're
mm,
going to really be fighting. So you know, so it's like so. And I read so much up on triple negative.
mhm,
Uh, Cancer showed me something that I know you. I was going to have those, so don't it will pass. But why
yeah,
it's happening? It's me and you. So there is that attitude that helped me really write more and focus more, pay more attention to every medical treatment, nurses,
mm,
doctors, medical staff, they go through a lot too, but they've been trained to not show their emotion.
yes,
They've been trained to be objective. even though when they go back home, they go, ooh, they may cry so much, but
Mm-mm.
while they're there, they appear to be the strong one. But
Yeah.
but during the, I remember each time, because my veins, I have very, mean and selfish veins. They will not give anybody any blood. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You would look for it. So my veins are so problematic that each time the nurse will give, it's the nurse that will be apologizing. It's the nurse, and I will say, hey, it's okay. Those veins are hiding. No worries. Oh, I got this one. I said, well, no, you ain't got it. So yeah, so really, I am very thankful for the dedication of here at Mount Pleasant. It's a small community hospital,
Yeah.
and we have specialists coming from Burlington, from Iowa City, but they are so dedicated. They are so. I really am thankful, and because we're in a small town, logistic transportation and all that is so easy. And
Mhm.
during the winter, when I had to go to Burlington for the radiation, and Burlington is half an hour from my from my town, I had three volunteers. They're all my colleagues from, they're all retired professors, volunteer to come to take me to, so it was nice. And
Yeah.
and yeah, and then of course, so my son, to our youngest, who lives, he lives in our basement. He works for Dell's Technologies. He works online, and so he came home to help me with transportation, because he takes his dad for dialysis, so that I
Mhm.
can have some. So, uh, God, He doesn't give you problems that you can't solve. But sometimes I want to ask God, do you have to give anybody any problem in the first place? Who asked for that? Whose idea is that? I need some problem, God. So because I know you're going to be there, but do we have to? So I play with all this idea. God really, He knows you go through, because He
Mhm.
knows He's behind you. But because of our limitation as a human being, we don't see the future. We don't know. So we are so exasperated. We are so, at least me, so afraid,
Mhm.
apprehensive. Come on, God. Angry, angry. My first
Mhm.
reaction to anything was anger. Why do you everybody couldn't do, I said, why not? You see babies suffering from cancer. You see toddlers with bald head because they've just gone through chemo. So if these babies, do they have to go through it? And so you just shout out, so, okay, I'm 67 now, so,
Mhm.
and there have been older people that have gone through, and there are younger people that have gone through, but somehow they didn't make it. So life is a mystery, is all I can say.
Mhm.
Life is a mystery.
But we know, like, with that mystery, we have like God, who is always going to be with us, like you said, through
Mm.
that deep waters.
Oh yeah.
Like, there are times we're going to pass through the deepest waters ever. Like, even the Bible says, when you go through deep waters, I will be with you.
The Bible didn't put it right. You should have just said you were going and drowning in floods. I will put you there. Because the deep waters, is it swimming pool waters? Is it clear spring water? Or
All
is
different
it,
type
was
of
it, was it
water.
supermarket
Good.
water?
Deepest of the deepest. He knows, like you said, he's gonna be with us. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he really has. Thank God. My husband always say, when we consider all our situations, thank God for my faith and my education.
Mm.
Because sometimes when you think of all the things that happen to a lot of people, like financial problems, health, blah blah, and all, bad luck, wisdom, so, well, thank God for my faith
Mm.
and my education, because your faith empowers you to believe God is in control,
Mm-hmm.
and your education cautions some excessive reactions on your part,
Yeah.
so making you a better human being. So yeah.
I was still on this God topic, but because I know I read in your book at some point you were angry with God.
I am.
Felt
Yes.
as a
Sometimes.
result like of your death of your sister, your
Yeah.
breast cancer, another
Mhm.
life challenges. So
Yeah.
how can you tell us how was your thought process during this time, and what led you to stop challenging God? Because I know you in your book you said you just stopped. You at some point you're like, hands up. I was like, I'm done. That's it.
Let your will be done, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Like at this point, like seriously, we're mere mortals. I can't do this anymore. So I surrender.
That's right. I mean, I've always believed that God, God has a sense of humor.
Hmm.
And it's like, you think you can do it? Yeah. Oh, okay, let's start. Game on. You know, knowing that, I mean, it's like when you have a child, there's a candle or some hot thing in front. The child is crawling toward it. You tell the child, hey, 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 don't go there. There's a, you go. But then you won't allow it to really go through it. You just before it gets there, you go and pick the child back, and you tell him, hey, next time you go there, you will suffer the consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And a smart child will be crawling toward that thing, but then when it feels the flare of the flame, oh, then it will just go on from there. So I think God God parleys with us humans just to remind us that He is in control.
Mm,
He's in your future before you get there.
mm,
He was in your past before you were. I mean, he created you. So, but sometimes, in the midst of, at least let me use my own. Don't let me generalize because it may not be true for everybody. In my
mhm,
own situation, I try to reason and I say, okay, God, but why? I'm going to ask you when I get to heaven, why do you allow us, why do you give so much function to a small organ like the kidney? Why? And that's because my husband has kidney problems. And then with the cancer, it's like, why didn't you, when my sister went to UCH, might as well, and call their name. She went to UCH and said, I got a lump here. And they say, oh, no, go by, you're too young you don't know anything about cancer, you can't. But she insisted, and then reluctantly they did a lumpectomy. And my question to God said, but God, why didn't you put it in their head that cancer can happen to anybody, regardless of age?
mhm,
And, so I think when I ask questions and I wait for an answer, I don't get it, I get angry. And then I
mm,
remind myself that, hey, as a parent, when you tell your child, you know the right thing, but your child doesn't think you know. And your child wants to just go ahead and test it on his own. No, well, go ahead, let's see. Go ahead, Chibi. You are trying to be super knowledgeable. Go ahead. And then he goes and says, oh, okay, now I see what you mean. But then he's gone through that thing. But so and I think that's the way God interacts with human being. He wants to make us feel how he, as a parent, if we as earthly parent can feel so much for our child. Oh, we don't want the child to get into problem. We don't. I think that's the same way God worries about us. But
mm,
where he differs from us is that he knows that nothing's going to happen to us that he can handle. We, on the other hand, hey, we don't know, we don't know what's going to happen to him. He knows, and he's at peace, and he wants us to be at peace. Well, we can't be at peace because we're mortal beings.
mm.
We our time is limited on this plane of existence. And I think that's how God also looks at things. He doesn't when he looks at us, he looks at us beyond our time here on earth. He looks at
Mm,
us, but we look at ourselves from, I need this more. Like I always tell God, there's no currency in heaven. Eh? There's no dollar in heaven. We need it's on this earth that we need it. They go, why don't you give us why don't you give people that need it? And so, but thank God, remember, um, a wink in God's time is
mm.
10,000 years. I tell God, hey, a wink here is a wink. Oh. And and a, and a day is 24 miserable hours if things are not going well, if people
Mm,
are sick, if they have a bad migraine, or they can't breathe, they have COPD. 1 hour is like hell. But then God's time is infinite. That we
mm,
just can't, we can't come. So I gave up because I said, okay, God, well, you know what? Do your words, because God will say, really, really, you still haven't learned. Okay, so it's again, and so when people say, oh well, maybe you don't pray well enough,
mm,
maybe that's why you don't have this, or maybe that's why you have this, maybe that's why. I say, oh my show, you've not heard of grace?
mm.
It's not by work or art, it's the grace of God that. So when you're doing well and all, you think it's you. No, it's not you. And when you see somebody else that's less successful financially at work, don't look down on that person, because it's not. God's made your success possible so that you can advance other people. Well,
Mhm.
that's a if not, okay, what's your purpose on earth? Why are you here? Why are you not a bat flying blindly? Why are you not a monkey jumping from one door? Why are you a human being? It's a reason. There's a purpose. So I always ask God, I beg you, tell me the reason I'm here before my time is up. So that's
I
it's.
wonder, this might be the reason you're here. God made you pass through those, like we said, deep waters for you to
Mhm.
be able to live, to tell and encourage your story to everyone
Yeah,
today.
yeah, really, honestly, our time is so limited, and it's so limited when you sleep and you dream, and in your dream you go to places in your conscious mind you've never been.
Mm,
You meet people you've never seen, and then I mean, you do things you would know in your real life you would never. So that's how you know that our time is so limited here. We're so limited, but the prayer is, while we are here in our limited time, God will show us, will direct us to the right path for the purpose for which we are thrown
mhm.
on this planet.
Yeah.
So that,
And
yeah. And it is that knowledge that brings fulfillment,
mm,
that brings satisfaction, that brings happiness, that brings peace. I mean, you see very rich people, the successful, otherwise, when then they go in and then take a gun and put it in their air and blow their head off,
mm,
you know. Or there's a case of a 32-year-old cancer survivor. She had two babies. Her her procedure was fine. She had a clean record for after her first year. She went home and killed herself because they discovered when she said she was lonely. She didn't have uh,
the community, yeah.
no community, and that's what I noticed in this culture, that things you can do it on your own. Oh yeah, pull yourself by your bootstrap. What if you don't have first of all, you don't have a boot? Well, maybe your boot doesn't have strap. It's not everyone that's born with all those generational wealth
Mm,
to, to pull themselves up. And so a lot of these people find themselves lonely, alone, because they've not really, they don't have a community. And that's where, as Nigerians, I don't know about other Africans, and I hope Nigerians would instill in their future generation this love of people.
Mm,
You have to, and you can't love people if you don't respect them. You
yes.
can't respect them if you've not been taught, if you've not been shown how to respect. And so when our boys were young, we introduced everybody, uncle, auntie, and they say, "Is this our Nigerian uncle?" Yeah. But the other ones are not Nigerian, When their friends come home and they see a white man, my boys say, "Oh, Uncle Tim," well, and then the boys will go and ask them, "Is that your uncle?" Say, "Yeah." And then look at that, how can you have a white uncle? And so when they go to other people's homes and they see their children disrespectful, it's like, "Oh, in my house, you will die." And so they've grown up to appreciate respect.
Mm,
Respect not just for people in your household, but people who are older than you. The problem with America is this idea that, oh, I'm free to say, yeah, there's nobody stealing your freedom, please. But respect the human being, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant that person is. It's a
mm.
fellow human being. You pinch him, it hurts. You stab him, he bleeds. Red, not blue, not green, not yellow, red. So
Same.
that's it. If you can respect people that way, oh, we have very few problems. Well, you see a president, you say, "Hey, hey, Joe," or even as much as I don't like Trump, I won't call him. I would say, "Hey, Mr. Trump." Or if when he was president, is the position, they post your respect, Mr. President, because he's the president, he's citizen number one. But people here, you see it. Oh, I went to the store one time. My kids were still teenagers, and one of their friends was a cashier at a local store, and they've told the people, call people by their first name, because in America that's supposed to be. So the kid looked at me and said, "Oh, hi, BC." It was as if somebody stoned my head. So I went home and I pulled my boy by the ear. I said, "Well, tell your friend never." My son went and told his friend, "Look, So the next time, "Hi, Mrs. Gwamna," I said, "Better." Yeah. But yeah, because we taught our kids to, respect, call people by their title. If it's your teacher, Mrs. Somebody. If it's your dad, your friend's dad, Mr. Somebody, you know. And our youngest, he has two best friends. They each call each other's parents dad, mom, dad, and they're not, they were all born here, from different cultures and all. But so upbringing is so important. That's what a lot of households are lacking
Mm,
in America.
yes. I second that. I really do.
Yeah.
And you, the funniest thing is you can see it. Like people
Oh
won't talk, but they can
yeah, yeah,
really.
yeah. And I think that's why when my school closed, our school here, Iowa Western University closed last May, but I I've lost my job with them a long time when I wasn't tenured, and my
Mhm.
husband lost his to 2015, along with 21 others when the school was downsizing. Anyhow, the school was still functioning. Everybody knew us as you better don't call them by their first name. How can students be calling their teachers by name? It's not right now. Why? How are we made? Do I know you? Do I know you? Have I met you before? So I always tell them, I am this, Dr. This, that. And so at home, when you come to my house, yeah, you can call me Mrs. Gwamna. But in school, I'm not Mrs. Gwamna. I'm your teacher. I'm Dr. And so when I did some certification to do subbing at the at, at the school district, it was my sons that said, "Mom, you can't do that. These kids are not well behaved, and we know your temper is short, and you can't do. We don't want you to be put in prison because." And after 3 years, I did not renew my certification with the Board of Education here because I couldn't stand the disrespect that those kids were showing their teachers. So each time I went to sub, I'll just scratch the wall. That is because that was the only way they could listen. So I'll collect their I collect their phones. We're just here for 45 miserly minutes. And I asked them, anyone here in diapers? Oh, ew. I said, I thought so. So that means I'm not here to babysit any one of you, right? We're here to learn. So,
Mhm.
right there, anytime I enter the class, oh, she's ooh. So, but they were forced to. And I think teachers are too afraid of kids. And sometimes you can't blame them because of the stupid law. You can't touch a kid. What is wrong if you spring, if you just if you give him a knock? What would that kill him? Well, so I just said, you know what? I don't want to be in prison. I will, no. So I didn't renew mine because I don't know how teachers do it. It's so much stress on them, and the administrative thing is so unnecessary. You have to take down this so that that takes off so much chunk of time that they need to learn. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Wow, it's such thing that we're struggling with here in this country. But
Uh-huh.
rounding up, so
Mhm.
we're just gonna be rounding up. What I wanted you to tell us what it means for you to be a breast cancer survivor.
I'm grateful that I am. But of course, in the medical world, they wouldn't consider you cancer free until you've gone 5
Mm-hmm.
consecutive mammogram. But I claim my cancer free status.
Amen.
So I still have four more mammograms to be declared cancer free. And then I remember an old lady at church said, "Oh, you said you're cancer free." I said, "Yeah." They said, "But they haven't told me I'm cancer free. I still had 2 more years." I said, "Well, hey, yeah, I have 4 more years, but I already claim to be cancer free and I am cancer free." So it only means I had to pay more attention to. I become very suspicious of any node, any lump, you know I pay more attention to stuff going on in my body, and I have fibromyalgia, so sometimes some of those pains, I say, okay, maybe it's fibromyalgia, but then I go to the hospital, please check this. Oh no, you're fine. So it just makes me more aware of my
Mm-hmm.
health, and more grateful to God for being
Yeah.
counted among the living, because I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of people are dying, from this. I just can't think of what is happening to women in Nigeria.
Yes, it's diverse, especially with
Oh,
the fact that like there is no the medical system is not it's not as advanced as what we have here.
ah,
So I've had so many people like me myself. I've had like my mom die of cancer as a result of the medical system. So
see,
uh,
yeah.
it's
So,
all good. Yeah.
they really, the Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Health in Nigeria, really need to. What do they need to do? But at least for women, so that they will stop thinking is village people that have catapulted stones into your chest, that it's evil spirit that is worrying you. It is this. No, no. It's a pathologically, disease that need to be skill, and people need to encourage young girls, especially in secondary schools, even in primary school, to do self exam
Yes,
when they
yeah.
find any lump, no matter how, to just go to. There should be a place where women should be given free. There's so much they need to do in
Yeah.
that country, honestly.
And I'm praying like even some of us here, especially we in the medical field, myself and other people can go back and impact what we've learned here
Yeah, yeah,
to generate to like the healthcare system here.
that is
So
true. That is so true. Yeah.
so one last question before we end this. I don't want us to end, but everything that starts has to come
Yeah.
to an end.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
How would you encourage someone going through this journey of breast cancer? What word would you tell them right now?
positivity.
Mm,
You have to have a very positive outlook, attitude, and don't suppress your emotion. You want to cry, cry, oh. You want to scream, please do. The more you suppress, the more you are. It's like you're putting gas into an empty engine. So just be yourself. But one thing you don't want to have to be uh, um, is to give up to give up hope. Don't despair. Be angry. Yeah, once in a while you feel depression, and yes, but don't let it overwhelm you. Have the feeling, have the spirit, have the belief that you can conquer this thing.
mm,
You can conquer this thing. And especially in this in the Western world where there's always day to day, daily research going on, I always say one thing. If white people have some illness that you have, you are lucky, unfortunately, because because they are sharing endowment, donating so much money into research, you know, and it's a black person disease. Look at how much research is going on in for sickle cell. If that were a really white person, there's so much. So I think I'm going to just hope that black people that have the means, that have the resources, please garner all your energy into, focusing on research on the illnesses that attack black people, not just so we don't have to wait for what the white people, the leftovers, or have to, yeah, learn their technology, but please take it back home and help it
yeah.
develop. Yeah,
Thank you very much. And from what I will add to that is mind is important. I know you said that earlier.
yeah,
Your mental health is important. And you said one thing that I want everyone that was listening to this to take, that most times what kill you is not the disease itself. It's your mental, how you see it.
yes.
Because even pain, they categorize pain sometimes as being psychological.
Mhm.
Because there are some people who can experience pain, who can take more pain, who can tolerate pain more
Yes,
than another person.
that is
So I would say like if you're experiencing like any form of like cancer, breast cancer, any form, as Dr. Guamra said, be mindful of your mental health, be mindful of your mind, because that's where everything starts. Don't kill your mind before you actually kill your body. Because when your mind is dead, everything
true.
else is dead.
So,
Is dead.
yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so
Oh,
much
that's my
for
pleasure.
honoring us, for
Um,
sharing your story. It's an incredible time. Like I said before we started, I was like, I feel like once we start talking, it's hard for us to end.
Good. You're a good moderator. You're a good
Oh,
hostess. Yeah,
yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
And again, before we close out, this is the other side of fear, and the other side of fear is what Dr. Guamra.
And the other side of fear is love. The other side of fear is defiance. The other side of fear is determination to defeat whatever it is that's the ogre waiting on your path. Kick the
Mm,
crap out of it. Okay?
yes.
Yeah.
So as you've heard, the other side of fear is so much possibilities that you can ever think of. So this book is available on Amazon. And I'll encourage everybody going through breast cancer to read this book. It's filled with so much humor, like encouragement, and it's like reading something from your best friend, like going through the same thing you're going through. So grab a copy. I'll be linking this in the description. And as always, this is ToTsFrishion. You have a story podcast whereby fashion meets inspiration. We encourage everyone to share their cancer story. And today we've had Dr. Gwamna's amazing story. And as always, if you would like to share your cancer story, send us an email at contact@ToTsFrishion.com, or you can fill out the form in the description below. And we're going to meet you again next month for another amazing story by God's grace. But till then, I hope you've enjoyed the story. And I hope you're encouraged, you're inspired. And remember, mind is very important. Take care of your mental health, everyone. And happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month to everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thanks, Ian.